With their sheer size and awesomeness, it's sometimes hard to remember dinosaurs were like any other creature and had to experience the trials and tribulations of survival, including illness and injury. How do we know they experienced these? Well, it's thanks to fossils that preserve what are known as pathologies. These are marks left on bones that are directly caused by either illness, infection, or trauma. From scratches to breaks, from cancerous growths to disease, these impressions can not only tell us how these animals lived, but can also show us minute details such as how their immune systems reacted. And no one dinosaur has contributed to this field of paleopathology quite like Allosaurus. Nicknamed the Lion of the Jurassic, it was one of the top predators of the time, and one of the most common, with specimens uncovered in North America, Europe, and possibly even Africa. Its numerous nature is shown best at the Cleveland-Lloyd Quarry in Utah. Out of 73 dinosaurs uncovered, 46 are Allosaurus. Why so many? Well, several theories have been put forward, such as the site representing a toxic lake that poisoned all the dinosaurs, a predator trap that lured in all the Allosaurus, or a pond that seasonally dried up, causing the dinosaurs to die every time it did. Regardless of the why, with all these Allosaurus remains, it's no surprise that not all were in perfect condition when they died. For example, several allosaur tail vertebrae show abnormal bone growth. One specimen is even missing 1/3 of a neural spine, with the rest of the vertebrae showing abnormal bone growth, possibly as a result of infection, trauma, or both. Alongside this, several rib bones have been found that show signs of healed fractures in the form of calluses, and 2 scapulae have rings of new bone present on them. Interestingly, these latter marks tell us that these individuals probably suffered from a condition known as osteomyelitis, a bone infection that spreads inwards and causes a circle of dead bone to form that is later covered by new bone. All this shows that Allosaurus didn't have it easy, especially at a young age, as most of the fossils at the Cleveland-Lloyd Quarry are of juvenile or subadult individuals. However, all these pathologies are found in different individuals. So what happens when just one individual gets all of them? That is the case for specimen MOR693, otherwise known as Big Al. This subadult was uncovered in Wyoming and, at the time, was the most complete Allosaurus found, with 95% of the body recovered. Thanks to this incredible preservation, scientists could gather a lot from it, namely that he probably didn't have an easy life. Examination showed abnormalities on 19 of the animal's bones, one of the highest amounts in this species. So what exactly were these injuries? Well, he has fractured ribs that healed out of line, possibly caused by trauma, bone growths on multiple vertebrae due to the ossification of the tendon that connected them all, a fractured chevron caused by trauma, which shows signs of extensive healing, fractured gastralia that would have caused severe pain to the animal's abdominal regions, a hole in its scapula that's unknown in origin, and a badly infected and fractured left foot. This last one is what probably caused Big Al's demise, as the bone appears to have been afflicted with osteomyelitis, likely originating from an infected wound after the animal fractured its foot. After a while, the blood supply would have been cut off thanks to new bone growth, thus causing the bone to become necrotic. This would have made walking hard for Al, and he probably would have succumbed to starvation, thirst, or both. Even with this, Big Al is a testament to how tough this genus was, as Al lived for around 7 years with such injuries. But how do Allosauruses get so many injuries? Well, it's thought that some of these problems are caused by intraspecific combat, or conflict between members of the same species. This happens in several modern species over resources or mating, so it's not a far stretch to say that dinosaurs did the same. This combat is how one famous specimen got its rather unique injury. Nicknamed Broken Jaw, it's renowned for having a broken jaw. A rather bad one at that, as when first uncovered, it was thought to be an entirely new species, Labrosaurus ferox. The jaw in question possesses a down-curved region at the back, very few sockets for the teeth, and a chunk missing from the front. Whilst the first point was probably the result of distortion during preservation or preparation, the second two are likely the result of an infection and a severe injury, respectively. Now, if you've seen Dinosaur Revolution, you're probably familiar with the character Broken Jaw. Well, he's based on this specimen, but instead of the injury being caused by an angry sauropod, what likely happened is that another Allosaurus bit the front part of the specimen's jaw off, and the jaw later became infected. You know, I don't know which is worse. This isn't to say that the herbivores weren't dangerous, because they indeed were, as they'd have to protect themselves from this predator, and nowhere is this better illustrated than in the 30-foot-long Stegosaurus. This armored dinosaur is often depicted as being in direct conflict with Allosaurus, and this isn't without merit, as several specimens show the predator-prey relationship between the two. Not only have Stegosaurus plates been found with Allosaurus bite marks on them, but as Trey the Explainer put it, we have evidence of the very first nutshot in history, as an Allosaurus tail vertebra was found to have a hole in it that matched the dimensions of a Stegosaurus tail spike, meaning this poor guy got stabbed in the crotch. What's worse is that the hole shows no sign of new bone growth around it, which means it either died shortly after the wound was inflicted, or that the tail spike broke and got stuck within, preventing any new bone growth. Man, this poor dino couldn't catch a break. Hopefully you now understand why this genus had so many injuries. But this isn't the only trial Allosaurus or other dinosaurs had to go through in life, for raising a kid in this world was a tall order as well. And if you want to learn how dinosaurs did this, then click the video on the screen now. Until next time, bye bye.